Hey everybody, it's Lana from 3E Energy Healing. As I support everybody in their expansion, empowerment, and evolution, I want to come on here to start sharing more. What I want to do is start sharing my experiences of oneness and love and compassion as I experience them through the realm of the 3D world, through my physical senses, as well as through my multidimensional experiences in meditation, doing energy work, through my career as a quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner, and through the experiences with other spiritual people in my community. This video today is about my experience with one of those communities called the Stargate Experience. You can find out more about at thestargateexperience.com. I first heard about the Stargate Experience on this show on Gaia TV called Interview with Extra Dimensionals. And the host of that show, his name is escaping me right now, interviewed Jules and Pergit. Jules and Pergit channel a being named Alcazar. Alcazar, back in, 30 years ago, I assume, told Pergit to build this structure. It's a physical structure made out of metal and geometric shapes. And he channeled basically the dimensions and the angles of this structure. And once he started building the structure, which took him a year for the very first one, he was told how to use it and what it is. So basically, the Stargate is a geometric physical object that holds a consciousness. They're based in Shasta, California. And my first workshop that I went to, which I'll explain how I got there in a second, but it was in Shasta at their home, at the Stargate home. So they have this huge Stargate right in the middle of their living room. On this show, I thought it was really interesting. I've always been interested in channelers. This was before I started honing my own channeling abilities. I had already channeled my higher self, but I hadn't really focused on it to practice. So I've always just been interested in it, and I listened to a lot of channeled material. And so, yeah, I was intrigued. But I didn't really, and I think I did at the time look it up, but I didn't really go any further with it. About a year later or so, I was channeling a lot more. And during one of my channeling sessions, I was speaking with my guides. And my guide said, "You need to go to Shasta." And I had long forgotten about where the Stargate is or what the Stargate was. I said to my guides, "If you want me to go to Shasta, then you're gonna have to tell me where to go, because there's plenty of workshops to go to in Shasta. I mean, the energy there is amazing." And so I was like, I don't know where to go. So 3 days later, I went to the dentist, and she asks me what I'm doing. I said, well, I got laid off at my tech job in Silicon Valley. And so I'm focusing now full time on quantum healing hypnosis. And she's like, and I said, and I channel. So I'm starting to channel a lot. And she said, "Oh, have you gone to the retreats at the Stargate in Shasta?" And I was like, "No, wait, that sounds familiar." And I said, "Is it like an older gentleman and a younger woman?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, I've seen them on Gaia, but I've never gone there. And I'm like, "Have you?" And she said, "Yeah." Now, listen, this is 3 days after my guides said, "You need to go to Shasta." And so she's like, "Yeah, it's in Shasta." And I was like, "Oh, oh, okay, I'm listening." So I went home from the dentist and looked it up. And the next and only listed retreat was in 2 weeks, and it was full. So the next time I meditated, I went to my guides and I put myself on the wait list. I went to my guides and I said, "Look, you told me to go there, but it's full. So if you want me to go, you're going to have to get me in." And so 2.5 days before the retreat started, which was over the Easter weekend, this 2023, I got an email saying, "You're in." And I was like, oh gosh, it's so quick. I would have to drive up there tomorrow because the event would start the following day and I need to be there in the morning. So I talked to my family and I ended up going, and it was amazing. So after that, I started doing their online stuff, And what's really cool about the Stargate is that they have a sliding scale. And since I'm not working and not really making the money that I used to at a full-time job, when I'm doing part-time QHHT clients, you know, I don't have that much to contribute at this point. Actually, I don't have anything to contribute because everything's going toward my mortgage and car payment and food. So what's awesome about that is that they have a sliding scale. So you can choose the level of contribution that you want to give them for the sessions. And so during this year where I'm not having a large inflow of money, I've been choosing the lowest option, which still allows me to participate online through YouTube and through live streams. The full week of sessions that they're having. And I mean, I've attended the ones in Egypt, in Costa Rica, all online. And the experiences are just as magnetic and as impactful as well, maybe it's a little bit more in person because you're in the Stargate's presence, but you still can reap all of the benefits from the online stuff. So I really appreciate the fact that they have a sliding scale and anyone at any income level can participate as long as you have a little bit of, extra money to be able to contribute towards that. At the end of the Costa Rica session, the very last session, they talked about the Greece retreat that they were having in Greece. And they said, if you'd like to go to Greece, but you can't afford it, fill out this form and see if you can get sponsored. Well, I filled it out, not thinking that I would actually get sponsored. And if I did get sponsored, would it be enough? Like, could I even actually afford to still go? Because I was like, well, I don't know. Travel is expensive anyway. So I filled it out, didn't even tell my husband because I didn't think that I would get it. And about a week and a half later, I get an email saying, congratulations, you've been fully sponsored to go to Greece. And that was all-inclusive resort for 8 days and money toward airfare. And so I didn't even have to pay for food while I was there. Just the airport transfers and food at the airport and things like that. And the extra money from the airfare. And I found an airfare that was pretty cheap and only had to contribute a little bit beyond what they had given me for airfare. So I ended up going. I'm just so grateful because I know that my guides are the ones that brought me here to the Stargate experience and the Stargate family. And the goal of Stargate is simply to raise the vibration of humanity on Earth. They don't ask you to believe anything. They ask you to have experiences on your own. They offer free meditations all the time. And so that makes me find comfort. And how they ended up being able to sponsor 200 people to go to Greece among the 1,000 that were there was the sliding scale. So if you have abundant finances, you have the opportunity to give extra to sponsor other people. And many people did that. Even people who weren't planning on even going gave money to help other people go and have the experience. And that's how I was able to experience this. And that just speaks to the level of caliber of people, the level of heart that goes into people who are aligned with the Stargate experience goals to help humanity and help further humanity. So first of all, I'm so grateful that I was able to go. Greece has been on my bucket list for probably 30 years, 25 years or so. And so I've wanted to go to Greece forever. I've never been able to go. And so the fact that I was able to be sponsored to go there, like 98% of my travel costs were paid for and all of my food costs, etc. That was truly a blessing. And I know that my guides are responsible for that. And at the end of the last meditation, they did come forward almost as if to say, like, you're welcome. So that was amazing. But for now, subscribe, and click the notifications bell so that you can hear other of my stories, and comment below if you've also had similar experiences with synchronicity, because I want to start reaching and interacting with the people that share the same goal to raise the consciousness of humanity, to start normalizing the experiences with our spirit guides, with meditation, and with the spirit world, because I know all y'all are experiencing it, because I am.